When it comes to achievements in video games, nowadays it's something that's pretty common, but when I was growing up playing, say, a Game Boy Color, a Nintendo 64, a Sega Genesis, a Super Nintendo, you get the picture. Achievements didn't really exist. The only achievement that you got was a well done or victory screen at the end of the game. There wasn't anything you got for beating it on a higher difficulty in terms of like a badge that you could show everybody else. You could take a picture or you had friends around at the time, but there wasn't a whole lot in the way of recognition. It was more private. It was more personal, more of an inner pride kind of thing. And I guess true to form with the way technology's changed, certainly with social media and the way we openly share pretty much everything about ourselves nowadays, achievements in video games reflect that, I think, where it shows that, yes, we did beat the game, and not only are there screenshots, but here's proof because I wouldn't have this achievement if I hadn't done this in the game, or gotten past this part, or done this set number of difficult feats, beaten this boss, or finished this particular difficulty. It's all there on display. The proof is physical and it's real. Kinda. For lack of a better word. And for a long time, I didn't really like achievements. I think for as long as I'd been aware of them, which, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they were prevalent, actually first came into being the way we know achievements in games now with, I'm not sure if it was the console generation of like PS3 and Xbox 360, or if it was started more with PC games. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm not really sure who started it, but I would want to say PC games actually, but I digress. I hated them. I absolutely hated them. And the reason was, I think because I'd grown up with those previous generations of games where that kind of element didn't exist. It was all about the personal victory. And now all of a sudden there were all these achievements to display whether or not you were as good as you thought you were if you had done so much in the game. And at the same time, whereas before when you beat the game, that was it. You had finished it from level 1 to level 100. You're done. But now all of a sudden there's another element to the game. There are these achievements. And I would say for most gamers, it bugs you because all of a sudden you haven't beaten the game. There's this little nagging element, this one piece of unfinished business that says to you, no, you really haven't finished the game because, look, the achievement list says you haven't done 100%. In fact, even though you beat the game, you've only done, 35%. You're not finished. And for a long time, I felt that cheapened the experience, like it was a cop-out move, as if it was sort of whoever made the game saying, you know what, we don't want to work hard enough to add more interesting elements to the game, make it longer, or add actual tangible replay value. So we're going to throw in a few achievements for repetitive tasks or bullshit challenges that people may not have done or would never do anyways, just to squeeze a little bit more out of this game than we could otherwise. And I'd say within the last 2 years, my opinion's changed. Because, and I honestly, I'm not sure why. I can't point to any one game and say, oh, this was the game that changed my opinion. No, it just kind of happened where I started looking at achievements and going like, you know what? It's okay if you don't get 100%. And at the same time, I saw how they did. I mean, it was the same thing where it's like, yeah, it is a very easy, cut and dry, cookie cutter way to add replay value to a game. But it's still adding replay value to the game. I mean, wherever that comes from, it's still there. And that really is a great thing because when you look at it from that perspective, it goes from being a cheap, tacked on add-on to something that really adds more value to you. Because now it's not just, okay, you beat the game, the boss has been slain, you're the highest level you can be, you've got the best gear, there's no more mountains to climb. It's like, no. There's a few more items you still need to finish up before you can say you're actually finished with this game. And I think that's great, especially now when games are, hey, geez, running the price tag anywhere from $60 to $80. And I mean, that's a lot of money to throw down. That's you're $20 away from $100. That's insane. At least here anyways. So if that adds just a little bit more value to the game than would be there otherwise, certainly nowadays, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a great thing, and proof that your opinions of some gameplay elements, game elements in general, can change over time, given enough time. But anyways, I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Whether you agree, disagree, if you view them differently, or if you've always loved achievements and think that they're great, they always have been, and there's no issue with them whatsoever. Whatever the case may be, I'd love to hear what you have to say. And until next time, I'm Rye. Take care of yourselves.